Israel to head to its fifth election in less than 4 years after the country's leaders agreed to dissolve the parliament. And that is how we will begin this half hour. Israel's coalition government, this was news that broke overnight, it's announced it'll dissolve parliament and call new elections. And it's set the stage for the possible return to power of former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu or another period of prolonged political gridlock. The election will be Israel's fifth in 3 years, and it'll put Mr Netanyahu, who has been the opposition leader for the past year, back in the spotlight. Already seeing him on our screens this morning. For more, we're joined now by Dr. Porat, Research Associate at the Australia, Israel and Jewish Affairs Council. Good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning.
The coalition government led by Naftali Bennett, who, is a former ally and aide to Mr Netanyahu. For people who might not be following this closely, can you tell us what's happened here? Why are they in this place now?
Well, this government had its stage numbers from day one because it was made of eight different coalition parties, and most importantly, the only thing that actually connected them is the will or the desire to make sure that Netanyahu doesn't regain power and continue his his period as the longest running PM in Israel's history. So the coalition was made from parties from the left, from the right, from the center, and for the first time in Israel's history, inside the coalition was an Arab Islamic party, Ra'am. So they had to find a way to work together, but from day one there were clashes, there were questions about political issues that, are very volatile, for instance, legal issues regarding the West Bank, legal issues regarding the contribution of the Arabs into the state. So it was very shaky, and one after one, people inside actually PM Bennett's party left, deserted, as they say, and said that they will vote against the government. That actually happened on the first day that the government was sworn in, and after that they were joined by other members from the left. Eventually, what happened is that the latest member of Knesset Parliament to leave was Nir Orbach, and he actually was threatening to vote against the government and was successful in blocking the renewal of the Israeli law, applying the Israeli law on Israeli residents of the West Bank, and that was could have created a real legal chaos. So Bennett decided if he quits, the law is renewed automatically. That's what he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and as you say, always, I guess, a challenging time, considering really the only common ground was not seeing Benjamin Netanyahu continue as Prime Minister. But the Foreign Minister, Yair Lapid, will take over as Prime Minister in the meantime. Before we look sort of further ahead, what can you tell us about him?
Well, he's worked his way up for many years. He came from television, a journalist, a writer, a reporter, even an actor. He's known for his father was also a politician, Tommy Lapid. His greatest achievement as of now is just he was able to build himself through coalitions with other politicians, slowly gain up to that position where he becomes the alternative or the interim PM. And proving to Israel that somebody else can be a prime minister other than Netanyahu, that he can be that prime minister. He's a centrist, but he always talks more to the right than to the left. He's a left, or leaning from his sort of civil point of view, civil rights, etc. But he's more to the right when it comes to the negotiations with the Palestinians, for example. So he might appeal to a wider audience, and he has proven himself to be a good politician, which Bennett actually did not. Bennett failed in putting things together with all these challenges ahead of him. So given that,
do you think Benjamin Netanyahu has a shot of regaining power here?
Absolutely. Netanyahu never left the building, as we say. Netanyahu was always plotting and working behind the scenes, even as an opposition leader, even as his trial is going on, with meetings, with overtures, with ties to deserting members of Knesset suggestions. He was working relentlessly, and eventually he identified the point where the government is broken down, which is the core issue of the West Bank and the Palestinian issue. This is where the government just could not hold it together and was breaking from left and right. So Netanyahu is looking in the shadows. He's doing well in the polls, but who knows? It's going to be a completely new ballgame in the upcoming election.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. I just want to ask, though, I mean, fifth election in just a few years. Can you give us a sense, or based on your discussions with people, what do everyday Israelis make of this? Is there any political fatigue among voters?
Exhaustion. Yeah. But at the same time, they look sort of favorably on the government. Many of them, not all of them. It's, of course, very divisive. But I would say the sort of center, mainstream Israelis do give this government a passing mark because it was able to integrate, as I said, an Arab party. It was able to function, get a budget through which was stuck for 2 years, and it was able to meet at least the exit period out of the COVID pandemic, challenges. So yes, there is exhaustion. There is, but there is also hope because the political map might be or is expected to be very different from last time.
Ron Porat, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time.